Hello, R.C.W. Universe. Welcome to another episode of R.C.W. Top 10. This week, well, the day before the pay-per-view, make sure you check that out on the R.C.W. network. It is 100% free if you pay $9.98. So this week we'll be counting down the top 10 gimmicks based off of WWE played by RCW superstars. Now, my apologies, this list is extremely poorly made. We went off of what we can personally remember off the top of our heads, which I guess in general is what the list is made out of. We came up with 10 gimmicks that came off the top of our heads. Now, we took one gimmick off that was kind of memorable because he was on the list a fair amount. Anyway, without further ado, let's get to the list. Coming in at number 10 is probably one that you don't remember as well, but if you see the guy and you see him dressed like that, you'll know who he is. He is Mater the Great 1, 2, 3 as Chris Benoit. Now, although WWE doesn't want to acknowledge that this man has a beautifully played gimmick, with the intimidating music coming down to the ring, his aggressive crippler style, all in all, the gimmick is complete by Mater the Great, and no one has ever done Benoit better. Coming in at number 9 is, well, I could go on with the names forever, but essentially his name right now is Dean Ambrose Maniac. By the time you see this video, it'll probably be different, but essentially Dean Ambrose Maniac, 45, as Jack Swagger. Now, he did this around the SummerSlam Night of Champions era, upon trying to win and holding the World Heavyweight Championship, a title that Swagger himself only held once, much like Beast at this point. Beast also, by technicality, they both won it off of Money in the Bank. With his constant We the People gimmick, his 100% patriotic act, he fit the bill as Swagger better than anyone else. Coming in at number 8, this man will be on the list 2 separate times, different ranks, is Eddie. But this one is for his gimmick as Brock Lesnar, the one that he currently has walking into the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view tonight. We don't know how long this gimmick will last, but the thing about Eddie is he's had several gimmicks, but due to being a veteran in RCW compared to everybody else, he's had more time to develop gimmicks. He's had dozens upon dozens. Some failed, and some beautifully performed better than anybody else. I don't think many can disagree that when it comes to the variety of gimmicks, Eddie does that role better than anyone else with quality and quantity. His dominant performance and actual skill in UFC and MMA brings him to be the perfect candidate for being the dominant MMA fighter that is Brock Lesnar. Coming in at number 7 again is Eddie Armour. Now, he had a lot of quality-quantity gimmicks, but he just did not have the time to make, a number 1 gimmick. But no doubt he has made some of the best, most memorable gimmicks in RCW history. But this time, it's for his original gimmick. I'm sure Eddie and some people might know what it is, but I'll say it anyway. Eddie Armour as Goldust. Complete with his astoundingly high-quality outfit, complete like nobody else ever before, and his bizarre attitude in RCW at the time created the perfect image for Goldust, and in many people's eyes, for the time being, is his top gimmick in history. Coming in at number 6 is Agent Cool the Best, at the only gimmick that he actually took seriously and kept for a long period of time. He kept it pretty much 100% through the way of his Intercontinental record-setting reigns, not in length, but in title defenses, mind you. It is Agent Cool the Best as the opportunistic superstar Edge. Instead of being rated R superstar, he is the rated A superstar for obvious reasons. Rated Agent Superstar. He plays the role perfectly in and out of matches, playing his heel movements and play both in and out of the ring, using his speech tactics to assault people verbally. And in-ring, being an opportunistic devil that he is in the ring, he is hard to combat, just waiting for opportunity to strike. Coming in at number 5 is one of the newer gimmicks. Although it's very easy for a newer gimmick to stay in our minds, I would like to say that we did not bias new gimmicks, as there is a lot of old and staying with us gimmicks. Anyway, number 5 is a newer gimmick, Kendall 1056 as unstoppable Ambrose. Now, the reason this is so much higher over everybody else's gimmicks, because I'm sure this is going to be just complaining after complaining that I'm not number one. I should be number one. Why am I not number one? Anyway, he just makes such a beautiful attire for this, changes it up rather than staying with one gimmick, plays it in a psychopathic manner, and is still targeting championships, and has had rivalries with the perfect people to make the perfect gimmick out of it. All in all, the image is complete when Kendall portrays Ambrose. Coming in at number 4 is Y34567, and his gimmick as Roman Reigns, the only gimmick he's ever had. And why would you ever want to change gimmick when you play something so perfectly and so mesmerized in what he needs to be? His in-ring dominance, in-ring, and his out-of-ring mic skills matching up to that of Roman Reigns verbally. And all in all, with the costume, the act, the quotes, every single part of it, even his team with Dean Ambrose and someone to the almost equivalent of Seth Rollins creating what is pretty much the Shield, everything about Roman Reigns syncs up perfectly, and when you think Y3, you think Roman Reigns. Coming in at number 3 is sort of controversial. We think it could be higher, but the top 3 are hard to separate amongst each other. Number 3 is a gimmick we all know him as. He plays a different gimmick now, but he played this gimmick so well. Perfect to the original. Perfect outfit. Nothing was wrong with it. The only problem is it did not last as long as many people would have hoped. It is Rabid, Cool, Tough Guy, or whatever, however his name goes, as the Hurricane. He played the gimmick costume-wise, had an entire league, the Hurra League, based around how well he played it of his fans of the gimmick, and all in all, with his third-person ethics and all, played the gimmick 100% to perfection. The only thing missing was a little R.C.W. gold around his waist, but that could come tonight as Rabbit challenges Flacco for the Intercontinental Championship. Coming in at number 2 is someone people may not like because of how he talks to people, but it's all in great fun with his heel gimmick. He's played this since January 6th, 2014, as he likes to remind people constantly. I think it's fairly obvious who it is. It is Ultimate Killer 332 as Kane, the big red monster, with his unmasked and masked persona, with his mysterious rivalry with The Undertaker that never reached a decisive conclusion, and his constant assault against many R.C.W. superstars, including many corporate members before, after, and during matches. He is a beast. When you have to go up against him, it is quite intimidating, much like the big red monster himself, Kane. Coming in at number 1, because we all know, who doesn't love it when Corp gets everything? It is Kids Rock 4 as Zack Ryder. Now, ever since his Raw WWE days as Zack Ryder, he's just played this gimmick so perfectly with the woos, the other woos, and the more woos. No, okay, I'm kidding. You probably already clicked out of the video because you were raging, but the real number 1 is Mattis as John Cena. You probably expected that since he's not on the list yet. Now, hear me out. He's been playing this gimmick since November 2013, his debut. All since coming up to close to 1 whole year as John Cena. Ever since approximately King of the Ring, when he won his spot in the King of the Ring and got a huge fan base, he inspired an entire C-Nation group, many different fans, an entire audio chant dedicated to him because of how famous his gimmick is, and the fact his never give up, his always come back, his rivalry with Brock Lesnar, his small, very brief, and almost unrememberable rivalry with someone playing The Rock, and all in all, just ever since the beginning has played Cena, dedicated, never changed, never wants to change, both types of Cena. It's just perfect. It's Mattis' John Cena at number 1. Thank you, R.C.W. Universe, for checking out this episode of Top 10. I know it was thrilling. It was a heart-pounding moment when you almost thought the kids got number 1. But I still think my gimmick as the legendary Kids Rock 4, I play him so well. Should have been number 1. Anyway, make sure to check out tonight's Hell in a Cell. Make sure to check out yesterday's top 10 of top 10 Raw WWE superstars that made the switch to R.C.W. and other top 10s. They're all high quality like this one. I know. They're great. And check out daily content. More and more uploads by the R.C.W. network. I'm Kids Rock 4, and I approve this message like a boss.